Hello, fellow wargamers. Welcome to TFG Radio TLDR Battle Reports. If you're like us and can't watch players argue and do math for 3 hours for a game that was decided in the first 40 minutes, then these are the battle reports for you. Here's the stereotypical reminder to hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube and head over to the Patreon page so Adam can not share any of the money with the rest of us. Also, please be sure to visit Gameology Pasadena's website, sign up for their newsletter. Also, don't forget to support Hammerhead Games. Their consignment offerings are great deals. Enjoy your TLDR Battle Report. Our list for today's battle are Danny Ruiz is taking a Kronos Patrol with Neurothrope as the Warlord, 3 squads of Rippers, a Lictor, 6 Hive Guard with Impaler Cannons, Barbed Hierodule, and 2 Biovores, and a Kraken Outrider with Swarmlord, 2 squads of 3 Rippers, 2 Lictors, and 3 Dimacherons. The Space Wolf list is Ragnar, Primaris Chaplain, Canis, 2 times 10 squads of Assault Intercessors, 5 Infiltrators, 5 regular Intercessors, 3 Eliminators, 2 by 3 squad of Eradicators, 10 Terminators with Power Axes and Compu Flamers, a Leviathan with Storm Cannon arrays, and also 10 Fenrizine Wolves. Alright, so we're playing Battle Lines today, and we've got the triple Dimacheron list that Danny brought against Tom's Grey Knights that made Tom rage quit. And we've got my Space Wolves, and we've already went over the lists. So all we got now is the roll to see who goes first. Man, I'm getting to go first 3 games in a row. All right, and I'm definitely going to go first.
No whoop whoop for me.
No whoop whoop. This is the end of Space Marines turn 1. And there wasn't a whole lot going on because the army's pretty close combat oriented and deployment was not, it was far away. So I kind of advanced some stuff up. The Leviathan here put his Storm Cannon shots into this Dimacheron and did 8 wounds, but it still has 10 left. We took some pot shots at it with some Mortis rounds from the Eliminators, but didn't hit. And everything else is just kind of hanging out. So we'll come back in at the end of the Tyranids turn 1. So this is the end of Tyranids turn 1. And we had a lot of action. These Dimacherons are super fast. They came right up in there. That one wiped out the squad of Infiltrators. Had to fight twice to do it. This guy, I intervened here so that I could swing at him and didn't do anything with my intervening squad, but they only lost 2 guys. Over here, this guy came in and did all the wounds to the Leviathan. The Leviathan's got 1 wound left. But this guy is down a bit. He's still at 10 wounds left. We had, he's at 8 wounds left. Oh, I did 2 more, right? Yeah. And then this guy, this squad here, lost 5 guys, but I passed the morale test, so I did get a point of oath of moment for that. They took shooting from the Barbed Hierodule. Over here, we now have an empty building where Canis and his wolves used to be, because the wolves got shot by the Hive Guard, and then they double shot to kill Canis, which was just rude. But that's what they did. So I haven't played against this list twice now. Once with Imperial Knights, definitely did not prepare me for exactly what this list can do. It combines incredible shooting with very good and fast assault units in the Dimacherons, and I was not expecting to lose so much in the first turn. I thought I'd be able to hide some more. I really should have taken the time to pre-measure charge ranges for those Dimacherons, and even though they can get boosted by some stuff, I really should have taken the time to really map out exactly where he could get to, especially knowing that my list is combat oriented also. I could have held back a little further. So the first turn really wasn't that great for me, but man, this 3 Dimacheron list with Tyranids is no joke. So this is the end of Space Wolves turn 2, and things did not go that great. Terminators dropped in, put some flamer hits down on the Swarm Lord. Over here, the Leviathan shot into combat because he was down to 1 wound, didn't do too much. I only took off another 2 wounds from him. Then he turned around and ate a squad of Intercessors, mostly by them failing a strength test. These guys killed a Mephitic Spore. The Eradicators have been renamed the Faildicators because they couldn't do anything over here at all. I think of what? I did 2 wounds maybe? Total?
You tiered him.
Oh, I did tier him,
Yeah.
but he should be dead because the one Eradicator squad failed to do anything at all, even with double shooting, which was great. Over here, Ragnar charged in, and the Chaplain charged in, but you see there is no longer a Chaplain for a good reason. Danny decided to interrupt and eat the Chaplain after Ragnar swung. Not a whole lot of strength in Ragnar against a monstrous creature like that. He's really more better off for killing infantry. So definitely against the wall here, and we'll see how Danny's turn 2 goes. So at the end of my turn 2, the Space Wolves turn 2, we had really ended up with a situation where I was pretty behind and falling even further behind. I'd only scored at this point 3 points to my secondaries, whereas Danny had scored by the end of his next turn 2. He had already scored 6. That also put me on the back foot when it came to the primaries, as you'll see after we do the Tyranids turn 2. Here's the end of the Tyranids turn 2, and it does not look good for the Space Wolves. So we're currently at, I believe it's 30-16 with the Tyranids winning. We had Swarm Lord come over and really take out a bunch of the Terminators. There's only 2 left. This Dimacheron did a night move and jumped over and got away from Ragnar. And then here we put down the Leviathan. Over here, this guy took out both squads of the Eradicators. Well, no, one Eradicator squad died to shooting.
Yep.
The other one died to the Dimacheron. It charged in, and I did hit on 2 6s, but then rolled 2 1s to wound. So that didn't help out at all.
Probability.
Yeah. I'll score a little bit of primary points, but it's not going to be enough. I'm falling behind on secondaries. So I don't hate this Space Wolf list, but I'm not in love with it. Ragnar's really good for certain things, but he's definitely not good in this matchup. He's going to be really good for cleaving through other Primaris models, other infantry, but when it comes to coming up against these monstrous creatures, he's not cutting it. Those Terminators are not cutting it either. This is the 2nd or 3rd game I've used them where I deep strike them. And really, I think unless I'm marching them up the board, deep striking is going to be something that's very, very situational for them. Rather than something I do often, and I'd probably need to get out of that habit. The Eradicators also outflanking all the time, not good. I should probably throw them into an Impulsor or something. But this Tyranid list is mean, and I can't wait to see what it does in a competitive environment. This is the end of the Space Wolves turn 3. It's 28-3. I scored only 2 points for engaging all fronts, and that's it. Ragnar charged in here, put 2 whole wounds onto Swarm Lord, and that was that. Over here, we had the squad of Assault Intercessors get finished off. The Lone Eradicator got finished off. And there is literally nothing else for me to do. So the end of Danny's turn will probably be it for the game because he's going to pull way far ahead. All right, here's the end of the game because also the end of Tyranids turn 3 in the battle round 3. He was able to table me. He took Ragnar out with Swarm Lord. He took out Assault Intercessors with shooting, and then the last Eliminators with the Dimacheron. This list is pretty brutal. The final score was 95-28. So that was quite the whooping.
Rip.
So as you heard in the background there, rip indeed to this whole army and whole list. Probably the last time you're going to see this all foot list basically from my Space Wolves. I'm going to be adding in some Impulsors, some Blade Guard vets, playing around with whether or not I want the Terminators, maybe some drop pods with Blood Claws. We're going to see. I got to try something else out. I knew all foot lists for Wolves would be difficult to pull off, but I wanted to give it a couple of good tries, especially because I haven't played too many games in 9th, and I really wanted to give it a shot. Now, this Tyranid list, on the other hand, is tooled, and it's great. There's not much I think would need to be done with it to make it compete. I do know that John Lennon's winning list from a GT a couple of weeks ago was only 2 Dimacherons and not 3. But it's a little bit of threat overload, and I'm not quite sure what I would do to combat that other than try to shoot them down with some massive shooting prior to them getting to me, and making sure I pre-measure properly prior to the game starting and all that kind of stuff to really make sure I keep him back as best as possible while giving myself as many turns as possible to whittle some wounds off them so that I can then take them down. But good game with Danny. As we said, it was quite the drumming, and it was a tabling. All right, so this is the man of the match for the Tyranids. I'm not picking anybody for the Space Wolves because they didn't do well enough for me to pick a man of the match. So Danny's going to tell us a little bit about his Dimacherons.
It's obviously the Dimacherons. It's always the Dimacherons. They combine everything you need, which is speed and just flat out murder. They do mortal wounds, especially to infantry. The first round, it didn't matter against John because he kept rolling 4 pluses, but eventually the game, they just kept murdering squads with, 3, 4, 5 mortal wounds plus their attacks. The biggest thing about them is they don't act like monstrous creatures because they can jump over things, and the best combo is with Kraken because they can fall back from combat, jump over the squad, either go get something in the back line and still charge, or just come back in and get to fight first because they charge, so you don't have to worry about it. They're just for 230 points. If you do not have 3 Dimacherons and you are a competitive Tyranid player, you need to find 3 Dimacherons. That's just what it comes down to. They are too good. And I don't mean that. Please don't nurse them, GW. They're fine. We need this. We need it.
I hope you enjoyed this latest installment of TFG Radio's TLDR Battle Reports. Stay tuned and subbed for notifications of more great short-form battle reports. And thank you to these Patreon subscribers.